There is an energy around TIMEX that I am feeling, especially when I go out to events, I talk to people, and one of the first things that they say to me is that they love the content that I'm creating around TIMEX, and not only that, they love the watches. And the fact is that they are thinking about all of their watches. They are constantly coming out with new models, and today I have yet another model that has been changed just a little bit to offer you something completely different. This is their TIMEX Continental. They came out with the GMT form a little while ago. Now they've come out with a chronograph form, and I have one hands-on to show you guys. I have the blue dial, so let's take a look at one of the latest releases from TIMEX, the new TIMEX Continental chronograph. TIMEX are rapidly becoming the king of affordable, good-looking watches that are accessible. This is very accessible. This is a watch that you could easily buy right now on their website, and they've come out with already a few other editions of this watch. Even though it just came out, they came out with a second edition that has a moon phase. It's a NASA, I don't know if it's a limited edition, but it has a moon phase as well, and it says NASA on the dial. I don't know the entire inspiration behind that watch. I would love to feature that here on my channel as well. But that is also part of the Continental chronograph collection. These are 40 millimeter chronographs in stainless steel. They are on a bracelet or a strap. I have this one in the blue dial on the bracelet, and is an eye-link flat link bracelet. This is a blue dial with a slight texture to it. It's almost like a record texture. It is a circular texture that radiates out from the center, and then you have these white sub-dials. It really stands out. It looks really good. There's Lume on the dial as well. We'll do a Lume shot towards the end of the video. The bezel is a 60-minute bezel, and it actually sounds pretty good, especially considering the price and considering that this is a TIMEX. Let's listen to that. It is unidirectional, not bidirectional. I mean, it sounds really good, and it lines up with that 12 o'clock index, which is awesome. I think it sounds just as good as watches that cost a lot more money. So price on this is pretty decent. We'll talk about price in just a few minutes. This is a chronograph, so you have pushers here, non-screwed-in crown. I think you are getting 100 meters of water resistance, which isn't terrible. The lug-to-lug on here is between 46.5 millimeters, which is what it measures at the case. So I would say this doesn't wear like that. It wears larger. It's almost 50 millimeters because you do get male end links here, as you can see. So it does have a pretty long lug to lug, but with that being said, it does fold down pretty well after those male end links, and it will wear pretty decently on smaller wrists. I'll show it to you on my 7.5 inch wrist in just a second. And it's around 11 millimeters thick, which is of course pretty good, again, because this is a chronograph, although it is a quartz chronograph, so quartz movements are thinner. So around 11 millimeters makes sense to me. And you get a mineral crystal. That's probably my only complaint about this watch, but the price range for TIMEX, a mineral crystal kind of makes sense. However, it would be great if they were able to get a sapphire crystal in a watch like this and keep it at this price point. I think that they would absolutely kill the market. In my opinion, mineral crystal, not that bad at this price point. And again, we'll talk about price in just 2 seconds. Let's take a look at the bracelet. You have a very nice bracelet on here. They've been putting a lot of R&D into their bracelets. Previously, there was a lot of pressed and folded links. They're not doing that anymore. These are stainless steel links. They are solid. You do have pin and collar, or I think these are actually friction pins. That's okay. And then you have some pressed elements, but other than the scissor, everything else is pretty solid. It feels really good. And again, at the price point, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's signed TIMEX, very large on that double deployment. Right below the 12 o'clock, you have a large applied Q for TIMEX, because this is a quartz TIMEX. Right below that, it says TIMEX. At the bottom of the dial, right above the 6 o'clock position, it says chronograph, quartz, and then since 1972. On my wrist today, I have the JFK from TIMEX. Indiglo button right here, big and very easy to use. This is the larger one. They recently came out with a smaller version of it. I like the larger one, in my opinion. I think it's like 46 millimeters. It's large, but I think it looks great on my 7.5 inch wrist. And there is the Continental chronograph in blue on my 7.5-inch wrist. Like I was saying before, 40 millimeter watch with an around 11.3, somewhere in that range, thickness. That's including the top mineral crystal solid case back. And then you have around a 50 millimeter lug to lug. It's just under 50 millimeters if you include these male end links. But you can see on my wrist, it wears really nicely, and that does not bother the fitment or wearability of this watch. And I think you could wear this on a smaller wrist than me, much smaller in most cases. I think it looks really good though. I love the integration of the bracelet to the case. Obviously, this is an integrated bracelet sports watch. You are getting 100 meters of water resistance. They made this in a GMT. I also own that watch. I think that's a great watch as well. I do like the chronograph form a little bit better. It is a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker, but overall the wrist presence and the look of this watch, it just looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. Well, there you go. Lume is not incredible on here. It obviously is fading pretty quickly from the hands and indices. The hands are staying a little bit longer, and there is a pip in the bezel that is staying a little bit longer. There is Lume on the second hand. There's a little rectangular pip that's as bright as the other hands, but it's not incredible the amount of Lume that is on this dial. I wish there was a little bit more Lume. That would be nice. I know that TIMEX can do it because they have done it on other watches. That would be really great. And it would make this a true sports watch with lots of Lume, 100 meters of water resistance. I think that's pretty good. But there you go. That's the amount of Lume that they have put on here. You definitely can see that your watch is working in the dark and you can see the time, but more Lume is always welcome. $259 for this watch on the TIMEX website. Like I always say, if you sign up with an email on the TIMEX website, you get an extra 15% off. So the price on this watch is really excellent if you get that extra 15% off. It's really good as it is at $259. So I highly recommend these watches. I think they are fantastic, reliable, really nicely made for the price. Definitely check out their website. I'll put a link to their website down in the description. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, that's really it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.